Welcome to the Proco 3D YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to be mixing some muted colors using some cheap clays that I got from Dollar Tree. I've been experimenting with these vibrant colors, and today we're going to look at the art of mixing muted tones. So grab your clay and let's get started. First, let's talk about muted colors. Muted colors are these soft, toned down hues that result from mixing a color with its complement or adding gray. Most professional sculpting clays are in these muted colors, like tan, brown, gray, and moss green. Having a consistent muted color helps to show the form and details of the sculpture, whereas vibrant or varying colors can be distracting. And the best part is that you can achieve these consistent muted colors with this affordable, non-drying modeling clay. If you see my past videos, you know that I really like sculpting with this clay. It's the best deal that I've found for a non-dry modeling clay or plasticine type clay, and it's actually surprisingly good quality for the cost. Now, these types of clays don't bake in an oven, and so if you want to make it permanent, you have to mold and cast it, which is a process, but it's reusable, and so that's why I recommend this type of clay for students, because you can use it over and over again with new sculptures and continually practice improving your sculpting abilities. Now let's dive into the color mixing basics. If you mix all the colors together, it gives you the most bang for your buck clay. That gives you this nice charcoal color, which is a nice color, but it is a little bit dark. The reason dark clays can be an issue is because it makes the surface details of the clay a little bit hard to distinguish. For me, it's especially a problem to have a clay that's too dark because I prefer a dark background in my videos, and so when you're sculpting with a dark clay, it can really get lost in that background. But if you want the most bang for your buck and to utilize all the clay, and if you're working in a well-lit area or with a white background, then this is a great option. Just mix all the colors together, there you go, nice charcoal gray, dark gray. So with all the other mixes, we are losing some clay because we're removing some of the colors to get a different color of clay. I will then use the discarded clay and mix that together into one consistent clay, and I might use this for mold making or sometimes just giving it to my kids, letting them sculpt with it, because I prefer a little bit lighter of a clay. So let me show you the process that I went through to test different colors and which colors I thought turned out the best. I started by cutting the clay into sections to experiment with. For this, I'm trying to make sure that I have equal amounts of all the colors. First, I tried mixing all of the light colors together. If you do that, if you do all of the light colors, it comes out as this yellowish green, which I did not find appealing at all. Looks like puke or something like that. We could call it dog barf green. So not a very appealing color. Next, I'm going to mix this dark reddish brown color that I've used for many of my recent projects. To do this, I removed the four darkest colors. So that's black, dark purple, dark green, and dark blue. Because we're mixing small amounts of clay, I'm just mixing it by hand. Pressing it together, squishing it out, mushing it, twisting it. Very relaxing. So this utilizes 8 out of the 12 colors, so you're still getting 2/3 of the clay, and it's a lighter clay, and I think an appealing, nice color. The waste colors with this one mix to a dark bluish green. Because I really didn't like the yellowish green that all of the light colors gave us, I decided to try adding back half of the red. Now red is very dark. Even though it's vibrant, very colorful, it's actually quite darker than we realize. Our brain tends to turn red a little bit lighter of a shade than it actually is in reality. But if you look at this red when it's turned black and white, you can see just how dark it is. So this will darken the clay just a little bit, but it'll get rid of that green effect. Just half of it added back into the mixture turns it from a yellowish green into a nice dark tan color. Let's go a little bit farther and get a couple other mixes that might be nice muted colors. So again, start with all 6 of the light colors, then add back 1/2 of the red, as well as 1/2 of the dark blue. This gave me a more earthy brown, which I also found to be a really nice color. I wanted to push that brown just a little bit closer to gray, so I took half of it and then added another portion of the dark blue. So the mixture for this color was all of the light colors, plus the dark blue and 1/2 of the red. While I'm mixing that, don't forget to check out the sculpting courses, which you can find in the link in the description. There's the figure sculpting course and the portrait sculpting course. Both courses have tons of information if you'd like to learn how to represent the human form in clay. These courses break down the complexities of sculpture into manageable steps and assignments that you can follow. And if you follow those processes, then you're much more likely to be able to create good-looking sculptures. These courses have got great reviews, and I've seen amazing work from students. So hopefully, if you're really interested in sculpting, you'll join the courses. This gave me this green-gray, which I later realized is very close to the color of my Chavant NSP clay, but it is a bit darker. Here you can see all of those color mixtures with the light colors on the right and the dark waste colors on the left. Experimenting with mixing these colors is not only fun, but it's also a good way to increase your sculpting palette. I wanted to experiment with these colors because my plan was to take some of this softer clay and then add in some beeswax to make a little bit firmer of a clay to use for making maquettes or small sculpture designs. If you're going to be mixing larger amounts of these clays, I recommend getting a larger pot that you've set aside just for these types of projects so that you can melt all of the clay together. Do this over medium heat, stirring frequently. And then, once the liquid clay has cooled down a bit, but while it's still liquid, you can pour it into other containers. I use these used yogurt containers and other similar containers. Maybe I'll do another video to explain how this wax plus non-dry modeling clay experiment turned out. Let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in that. If you try this and try mixing the colors yourself, you can experiment with the ratios and get other interesting colors that you might like. You can start with small amounts of clay and then slowly add more until you achieve the desired shade. But when you're doing this, make sure to keep track of exactly how much of the clay you're adding in, so that if you want to remix that color, you know the exact amounts to use. And there you have it. Here's how to mix muted colors using Dollar Tree modeling clay. If you try mixing these colors or try out the clay, share your experience with us in the comments below. And if there's something you'd like me to cover in upcoming videos, let me know that as well. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, give it a like, share it with your fellow sculptors, and until next time, stay creative, stay productive. See you in the next one.